describe a typical working day here in the Gaza Strip?
Well, the typical work for the medical staff in Shifa, that's what I can talk about now, because I've been at Shifa all the time. It's very hard work, and I'd like to underline that it is the Palestinian health workers, the doctors, the nurses, the paramedics, all the volunteers who do this work. I'm just a very small part of it, and they do a phenomenous effort to support, to save lives, to operate, to tend to the wounded after the injuries. And a day is not a day. A day is sort of like 24 hours endless work, because the wounded and the killed, they come in day and night according to the Israeli bombing. So the shifts are working extremely hard. They have tripled the shifts, doubled the shifts to have enough people. And I have the deepest respect for the Palestinian health workers. Really, I have no words to describe their courage, their dignity, and their professional level. Even without lots of equipment that we need, we are lacking, so much. And even without that, they improvise, they don't give up, they don't sit down and complain, they just get the work done.
In terms of lack of equipment and medical and medicines, how do you deal with the patients?
Well, as I said, the Palestinians are masters of improvisation. They have to find solutions. When they don't have a band to occlude the veins, they use a glove. If they lack something, they find another solution. So they do their best. Of course, there is a lot of equipment, there is a lot of instruments that we would have liked to have. But if we should give up the work, or if they should give up the work just because we're lacking some instrument, then we wouldn't get the job done. But that said, I think it is an important international appeal to say that we need to open corridors to all the hospitals in Gaza so that the supplies can flow uninterrupted. The Israelis are saying, and they're claiming, that they get in the supplies that the Palestinian wants. Well, it takes at least 48 hours, maybe 72 hours. And why should there not be an open access directly into the hospitals? Why is it that Israel should control the supply of medical
electricity? And today the only electricity plant in the Gaza Strip was bombed. Yes, and there is no electricity from now on. How would you cope with this problem?
Well, the Palestinian will cope with it.
As a doctor in Shifa Hospital.
Don't interrupt me when I'm answering, okay? If you want to do the interview, that's fine, do the interview.
Oh, just I want
so
to.
Don't interrupt me, I'm giving you the answer, okay?
Okay.
Come on, let's start again.
Again, I want you to answer as a doctor. How would you cope with the severe shortage of electricity, as you know?
Palestinian health workers in Shifa will cope with this all right. They are trained to be without electricity. I think as a health worker, I would say that the lack of water and the lack of electricity is in Gaza, it's really a huge crime from the Israeli side to deny the civilian population in Gaza electricity and water. And when they're bombing the electrical plant in Gaza, they know that they will make the work extremely difficult in the hospitals. And that may even kill people.
That there are other makeshift hospitals in the field, or the patients are being treated only in hospitals, main hospital or
Listen,
hospitals.
the most important thing now to save lives, it's not more hospitals, it's not field hospitals, it is to have the bombing to stop. To stop the Israeli bombing of Gaza, that will cure the problem of this endless current of injured and wounded and killed. The second demand is, of course, to lift the siege of Gaza so that electricity can come in, fuel can come in, so that the hospitals can work in a normal fashion. It's not a question of more cannulas and IV fluids now. It's desperately a question of having the basic preconditions of electricity, water, supplies, and security for the hospitals. They flattened Al-Wafa Hospital today. They bombed Al-Aqsa Hospital the other day. No place is safe.
React when they come here to look for their relatives.
Like any normal person in the world, be it in Israel or in the United States or in my homeland Norway, they are devastated. They are shocked. They are so full of grief and shock and despair. They are crying. They are in tears. They are so sad because their loved ones are being killed without any reason. They are killed because they're Palestinians. They're killed without any court order or any sentence. Actually, the State of Israel, Mr. Netanyahu, is writing out capital punishment to hundreds after hundreds of Palestinians, killing them deliberately with these awful weapons. This is a slaughter, this is a crime against humanity, and this is, of course, huge war crimes. And of course, for those who lose, it's the same feeling as for anyone who loses a grandfather, a child, a mother, or the whole family. Despair, grief, and sorrow.
يلا نهينا يا زلمة. What kind of psychological effect are people suffering here?
Well, they are, of course, they are terrified by the bombing. I mean, if my house was going to be bombed, I would be scared. But the Palestinians are, first of all, standing together. They're standing tall. They have the samud, they have the strong psyche of people who have been oppressed for so many years, and they are really very persistent. Their steadfastness impressed me all the time. I'm extremely impressed by their steadfastness. So, of course, there are long-term effects, but the most important factor to amend that psychological effect is, of course, that the families can stay together, take care of their children, and that the bombing can be stopped, and that justice will be in place, that somebody is held accountable for this mass murder, that Israel's impunity is brought to an end, and that Israel war crimes, the Israeli war crimes and the Israeli war criminals are taken to the International Criminal Court in Hague and given due court proceedings, which all the Palestinians who are killed and injured are not given, and that there can be some justice in time for the Palestinian people. That's the only way to heal the wounds.
You are here for a long time. Can I ask you, where are you sleeping? Where do you stay?
I sleep wherever there is a mattress or a bed. That's fine. That's my problems are very small problems compared to the families who are sleeping under open air on a plate of carton or anything else. Okay?
Is there do you feel that there is any place which is safe here in the Gaza?
I just answered that. I said no place is safe in Gaza. No place is safe for anyone. And Israel shows no respect for international law. And here at the hospital there is no international presence. There is no white car from the UN. There is no flag from the UN. There are no international observers to see that international law is respected by Israel.
What?
Israel respects absolutely no international laws. They kill the civilians, they bomb the hospitals, and they bomb the water supply, anything, and now the power plant. This is absolutely unacceptable.
One last question, inshallah. How much true the Israeli accusations that the hospitals being targeted contain missiles and rockets?
I have never seen any Palestinian hospital contain missiles and rockets, and you have to pose that question to WHO and to UNRWA, who by and large are looking after the hospitals. They can answer that question.
Thank you very much. I am so sorry.
It's okay.